Hey, I'm Ralph Lockley with SoutheasternGeneralContractors.com. Today we're out at Omega Auto, and one of the things that we've noticed while on the job site is now that the building's framed, it's something we hadn't really talked about much during the design phases, but there is a tremendous amount of attic storage, as you'll see above, and we want to utilize that. I just talked with the owners of the project here, and so they said they want to put a subfloor there and use that as attic storage. So what we're going to do now, since we're already on site, I got our handy dandy roller wheel, and I'm going to show you right above the space that actually is going to be for the attic storage. Then we're going to roll out the width of the attic storage and the length of the attic storage to figure up how many sheets of subfloor that we would need to actually sheet that whole area for the attic storage. So that's what we're going to be doing in this video. Follow along, I'll show you how to figure up the materials. So all we're going to do is take this roller wheel. You can buy them at Lowe's or Home Depot or online, Amazon, and we're going to roll across the floor, and we're going to get the measurements of how wide the area is for the subfloor and how long. So we'll get the length times the width and then divide it by the square footage of each plywood sheet. So let's get started. So you'll see the measurement is actually 61'3" from what we rolled from the edge of concrete basically to the edge. So we're going to add a little bit just for a waste factor. So if we're at 61'3", we're going to say 62 feet. Now you'll also notice we could have done this from the blueprint. So as you'll see on the screen now, you see on the computer software, we could have essentially done exactly the same thing by using our software to click from one side of the building and go all the way to the other side of the building. And so we're showing 62 foot. I'm happy with that. Now we're going to do the width. We've just gotten our length. Let's get our width. So we just got our length, and now we need to get the width. In this application, we don't measure the width of the whole building because guess what? We're just needing the width of the attic storage. So as above, I'm standing right above the area where the attic storage starts. So we're going to measure from here over to where the attic storage stops. So follow along as I get those measurements. So now we've got our length and we've got our width. So the way you figure this up is you take the length and you times it by the width. That gives you the area square footage. In this case, it's the attic floor area. So you take the length times the width. That gives you the attic floor storage area. And then you divide that by the 3/4 inch or 5/8 subfloor square footage, which those sheets come in 4x8 sheets. So you would take 4 foot times 8 foot. That would give you the 32 square foot. You take the square footage of that plywood sheet and you divide it by the square footage of the area it needs to go down. So this is how the math breaks down. So now, as you can see, we simply do the math. We take the attic storage square footage, divide it out by the plywood sheet square footage. That gives us the total count of how many pieces of subfloor we'll need in the attic storage above. So now that we've got that figured up, now it's time to give our supplier a call. Give them that quantity, let them know what we're using it for, which job site we needed to deliver that, and to get us the quote for those items up front for approval. Make sure the pricing's where we need it. Once we get that approved, we authorize it to be delivered on the job site. Once it gets delivered to the job site, we always have our suppliers to check in, let us know that they're at the job site, take a photograph of where they left the materials so we know that it's being delivered to the job site. So hopefully this video is giving you a little tiny insight on how some of these job sites are ran, some of the things we run into while building, and how we pivot, how we adjust to always get the clients hopefully everything they want in the build. So I'm Ralph Lockley with SoutheasternGeneralContractors.com.
Southeastern General Contractors, where making clients happy is our #1 goal. Learn more at SoutheasternGeneralContractors.com.